Hello everyone and welcome back as we commence round 4 of the TAC hosted One Piece Limited Deck Battle. I'm joined here by Gary and we're double sleeved bringing you all of the games from Table 1 throughout this event. And for the first time for this event in round 4, we finally don't have a mirror match. We've got Kid versus Kaido.
Going to be great to actually see two different decks going head to head. Two very different playstyles. So we've got Kaido is the ramp build, and then we've got Kid who likes to go aggressive with his dual attackers. So very interesting to see how this one goes. I think probably a little bit more favoured towards Kid aggressive wise, but Kaido does have those large blockers to get over.
Absolutely, and it's great to see, you know, some established players that are experienced. They've made their way up until round 4, undefeated. So you know these guys know what their decks do. They've tested it. They've played, and hopefully we see some skillful and smooth gameplay. Just getting set up here, and it looks like we're going to do a dice roll to see who goes first.
Simple D6. They go on one each or odds and evens?
Looks like one each.
Yeah.
We've seen a couple of different mats from a couple of different games today as well. We've seen Pokemon, we've seen Dragon Ball mat, we saw Digimon, and now we're seeing a Fab mat here on the left-hand side as well. So really, we saw a Yu-Gi-Oh mat also, so really showing you just how wide this game has kind of spread into all the other TCGs, and it's pulling people over from everywhere and bringing them into kind of one central game.
And what a player. I think I can see a Chocobo on there. There's a Gengar.
You're right. Yeah,
there's a few different bits and pieces all over that play mat.
Absolutely. A man of many games, many talents.
So not sure who's going first. A bit hard to tell from that dice roll.
Yep, but as soon as we see that one Don get flipped over, we'll be able to tell. Who do you reckon wants to go first here? I'd say probably Kaido. Kid's a bit more comfortable going second than I feel Kaido would be.
Well, that's an interesting thing. I think Kid is comfortable being second in this matchup, but I don't think Kaido cares if they go first because that means turn 3 they're going to be able to tap and get their stage out regardless, which is what they'll be doing on their second turn anyway, most likely. So I think Kid probably favours going second. Kaido probably doesn't care as much first or second.
As long as they see that stage. That's the important part, isn't it?
Yeah, I think so.
Well, we had a good game round 3, and we're kicking things off with Kaido going first. There's that one Don, and a quick pass right there.
Kid 2 energy, tapping 2 straight away.
Yeah.
And building that bit of board presence isn't going to be relevant just yet, but let's see how... Wow, these are quick turns. Look at this. I like it. I like it a lot.
Yeah, straight into the Eroge, which will come in handy later as you start going a bit more wide. Do we see the stage here on turn 2? Taking their time, so perhaps
Doesn't
not.
look like it.
Opting to swing. And now as we start getting into the later rounds, you know, we've got the undefeated players. They are a bit more experienced about which life to take, which ones to counter out. We see staying at that high life.
I think it's really important in this game to protect that life early on, especially when you've got the lower attacks coming in at you. You want to be able to defend the easy ones and take the harder ones to defend.
Yeah. We don't see the stage, but we do see Jack come down. So we're going to trash a card and then set a Don as active from the Don deck. Looks like we're dropping the... It's hard to see. It's either the Black Maria or the Sasaki. I believe it's the latter. But that probably be a pass. We'll see how much pressure green can put on early. There's the 5k swing. And a take.
Still got the 4 Don to play with.
Not
Tapping
anymore.
1,
That's an
2,
extra.
3, 4.
Oh, goes
Oh,
for the
it's not.
skillless. All right. So instead of playing the X-Drake, we're going to get the skillless Kobe down. 6,000 power. Perhaps not the best hand, but still being able to use his Don, still being able to establish his board. But as purple starts getting into those higher energy plays, it's going to be a lot more difficult for green.
Obviously, both players going undefeated into this round, playing well so far. Playing off today for some really good prizes in terms of the serialized number limited promotional card, which is the Monkey D. Luffy leader card. I'm not sure how many there are going to be. But you know that the numbers 1 and 2 will be limited to later events, and they won't be released today. The top player will get a set of sleeves that will be selected at random, which will match different leader cards. For participation, we've got some Don sleeves. There's a storage box, and also those promo cards that can be a little bit hard to get, only being a few events that have been released at so far.
So some exclusive prizing tailored to this event. You know, it's a brand new game. The set 1 hasn't come out just yet, so it's great to have an event. We see King come down, removing that Kobe. And back to the green player's turn.
Turn 3, 6 Don.
And not the biggest board that we've seen from green. You know, we've got some removal from purple, but we haven't seen any of the key cards come down just yet. You know, your X-Drake, your Hawkins. 5k into lead.
We will see some slightly different builds depending on how people decide to put their decks together. They can put multiple star decks together. Well, this could be someone who's just got the 1 starter deck and going with that straight off the bat.
Yeah, absolutely. And you are at a bit of a disadvantage with just the 1 starter deck, with some cards being 2-ofs that you probably want to see more. But it definitely is possible. If you see all the cards that you need, then that's all you need.
Countering out of that one.
Yeah. Just
trying to stay at the high
5K.
life.
Yeah.
Currently got 5 life to fall.
Yeah, and we're starting to see the players slow down a little bit more, make their
75.
decisions. Yeah, there's Hawkins tapping 1, and of course
Getting the
we
Bonnie
see
out.
Yeah, Bonnie's so important, especially early on. Even later on, you know, just being able to draw and keep that consistency.
I think not a bad move, even getting that Hawkins ready for the next turn, because you want to be able to clear some of that board presence, and he's a key card that will make that happen.
Yeah, exactly. If you start swinging with Jack, if you swing with King, you know, it is a bit more of an investment Don-wise to put the pressure on it, but getting the ability to restand is so much worth it. It's so worth it.
We'll see if that stage card ended up in hand. It almost becomes a little bit obsolete past this point.
Yeah, it depends on, I guess, the strategy as well. If you still have things like your Kaido 9-drop, where you're negging a lot of Don, your Queens and things like that, it is still
your leader
good.
ability.
Yeah, exactly. It is still good just to be able to recoup 1 of those Don each turn. We haven't been able to get an idea of what the spread of colours is today, but we'll do our best after the event to try and get an idea of how much each colour was represented, and get that on our Facebook. We'll post as much info about the event as we can on our Facebook. All these videos from today's event will be posted onto our YouTube as well. So if you're interested in going back and watching some of the previous rounds that you missed, then be sure to subscribe. We've got a lot of One Piece content coming out as well. So plenty there for everyone.
Takes that damage there, going down to 4 life.
Yeah, and Purple's still probably deciding whether they want to swing with these battle cards. They know Hawkins is on the field. They know that it's going straight for those battle cards the first swing that it does.
Yeah, even if you attack with that king, you're going to have two potential Hawken swings into it that will be able to take it out.
Yeah. Let me see the who's who. Probably to remove the Bonnie. Yeah, there it is.
Remove that draw power.
Perhaps still deciding. Oh, okay, looks like they've decided to go for the Erosion instead. Seems like green was probably like, yeah, sure, you're going to remove my Bonnie, but purple had plans elsewhere.
And do you think it's better to remove that board presence or stop that draw power from your opponent?
He's got 3 cards in hand, so I kind of think that you go for the Bonnie. He's probably going to swing with the Hawkins the following turn, and that's the point where you can probably start trying to remove it. You can keep your king inactive, keep your jack inactive as you have. I personally think that you go for the Bonnie, but at the same time, if he activates the Bonnie's effect here, puts it to rest mode, the following turn you just clear it with the who's who. So you allow him to draw 1, but it doesn't stick around longer than that.
You see, he tapped 4, played the page 1, pass turn, and player on the left has gone straight into that, tapping 1 for Bonnie, switching her to rest mode, searching the top 5. We'll find a supernova to add to hand.
Yep. And purple keeping his cards in active mode as well, just to prevent that free attack from the Hawkins.
Definitely a smart play.
Yeah. 3 cards in hand for purple as well.
So do you almost opt to not swing with Hawkins this turn and save it for a later?
As in not swing with the Hawkins? Yeah, I think maybe you play that X-Drake that you just picked up. There's probably not much point swinging a 6k into that leader when you know that becomes, the first target the following turn. Perhaps you wait until he starts turning his cards sideways and then getting the boost from the X-Drake and the free attack from the Hawkins.
Maximize value. So you tap 4, play the X-Drake, and then you got the 7k attack the next turn that can remove a couple of his pieces.
Yeah, exactly. And it just comes down to who swings with their characters first. If purple's going to start swinging, well, then Hawkins will remove them. If Hawkins swings first, then purple will start targeting. But we see the straw sword, switch the king to rest mode, and now that Hawkins can go into king.
Still tapping 4 for the X-Drake or thinking about it?
Yeah, you do want to get X-Drake onto the field. You could go that 1 Don Under.
And I think having the 4 life, you could almost comfortably say, you know what, I'm happy to take the onslaught next turn. Swing leader into leader here.
5k, 3 cards in hand. Decisions. Quite low hand sizes for both players here.
Countering out 1 card from hand worth.
Yeah.
It looks like down to 2 cards in hand though. It's a big buff on the Hawkins.
Yep, pumping it up. We're going to swing at that king.
Yeah, potentially worried about counters, but all the Dons tapped out. I don't think it's a massive threat.
Yeah, with 2 cards in hand.
I do think the X-Drake would have been the better play and then still swing with the Hawkins to remove the king. And then you can leave Hawkins in active mode.
I would agree. You're going to get the 2 attacks on the Hawkins if you put the 1 Don underneath. If your opponent loses the king, well, then you just restand and leave it in active mode. But I guess the green player wants to keep those defensive cards available. So at the end of the turn, he wanted 2 Don active, didn't have anything to use the 3 for, might as well put it under Hawkins and swing for 9 and guarantee that king's getting removed. And it's just great to be able to leave Hawkins in active mode. You've gotten that free attack, and now it's very difficult for our opponent to remove this card. You've got some 6 energy plays, you've got some 9 energy plays, but that's pretty much it.
Got 8 Don to play with, tapping the 5.
Seeing a queen? We're seeing the effect. There's the card. deciding what to discard. Great setup for the player in green also. Got the full board available, different sleeves, hand visible. Just a really nice setup. And it makes it a whole lot easier for all the players that have a really clean setup, and easier for us too.
Definitely. If you are playing One Piece, make sure you sleeve those Don decks up in different colour sleeves.
Who's Who into the Bonnie. And then
Pumping the leader by 1,000. Be leader into leader. Low hand size, so I would say this might be activating the event.
Yeah, we'll see the scalpel. And you know that the page 1 is going to swing at you for 6k. Chances are Jack won't be swinging this turn, and Queen most likely will stay inactive. So if you're going to take a damage, you might as well make it the page 1 and get out of the attack while you can. But we do see the blocker come down for the 2 energy. It's the Black Maria.
And a pass without swinging with page.
Yeah. Probably a bit concerned that Hawkins will just remove it. But I guess that Who's Who is just going to get removed instead.
Definitely still going to get value out of Hawkins this turn. Maximum Don, so looking at 10 Don ready to go.
Yeah. Do we see the extra come down now, you reckon?
I think you have to. You need to get it established as early as possible. If you've got Maximum Don, you want to be putting it down now. Otherwise, you want to have something really useful in hand.
The 7-drop kid is a bit less useful in this kind of matchup as opposed to some of the others. Just because the purple deck has a lot of big, heavy hitters. A lot of 6Ks, 7Ks, you got a 10K, even that double block, it's not as powerful as it can be in some other matchups. But we see a 5K lead swing into the Who's Who, I think.
Interesting not using the Hawkins.
Yeah, I mean, for 1 Don investment, it's going to restand, and that Who's Who's still going to get removed. Still deciding what to do.
Now, here comes the bump by 1k. Probably would have been better before, but a little bit of sequencing. Might not have thought through the play too much.
Perhaps worried about this.
Weighted blocker,
this
maybe?
Blocker, yeah. But even if you swing the 7k Hawkins and he does block, Hawkins will still restand, and it's you have to counter out. So
that's where it may not be too bad to play, because if the opponent does activate the blocker against his Hawkins, I believe it still does restand because the target changed to a character card.
Yep.
Tapping 4, here's the X.
Straight.
Another 4, 5.
Probably a Trafalgar Law. Yep, we're going to restand the Hawkins.
Very nice.
Yeah. A great card.
And then I'll say it'll be a pass turn there.
But let's say you swung with Hawkins first into Who's Who. You restand. You swing with Hawkins again. You tap your 5 for Trafalgar Law, and then you get to leave it in active mode. And then you can swing with your leader into 5. And that's probably 2 attacks into the leader, as opposed to just the...
I think that definitely would have been the more optimal play.
Yeah, as opposed to this, the way that he did sequence it, where he only got 1 attack into that lead.
It's nice to see some decent camera quality as well for some of these online games. I've seen some online events in the past where they're pretty grainy and pixelated, so at least the camera quality is improving.
Absolutely, yeah. And as these online events become more relevant, it's definitely worth the investment to get a good quality camera. Because I don't expect these online events to be going away anytime soon. When we can pull 205 players from all around the country coming together to play an event, it just shows that people are willing to play from the comfort of their own home. And
Absolutely.
And stream from the comfort of their own home.
Yeah, I think while the in-person events are fantastic, and I do 100% of the time prefer an in-person event, there are people that can't always make it, whether it be interstate, however it is. you can't always afford to drop money on a plane ticket and then accommodation. So sometimes to be able to play from home is a really good option.
Absolutely, exactly. And we see the first super counter come out here from green. So still defending his life, trying to avoid going down low. Both players on 3, both with very limited cards in hand. And there's a 9-drop Kaido. So which one do you remove here? Do you remove the Hawkins?
I think Hawkins or the X-Ray. It's got to be one of those two. Because Law's going to be sitting there. It's not really as big a threat as the other two.
Yeah, just a beater at this point. Hawkins has the ability to swing twice. X-Drake, the ability to give all your cards, pretty much everything on the field right now, an extra 1,000. Decides to go for the Hawkins.
You're upset at losing either of those, but definitely had to be done.
Yeah, and that Kaido does have Rush, can swing for 10,000, and this one will be a snap take.
Down to 2 life.
Yeah.
So showing the aggressive side of purple versus a green, which is predominantly an aggressive deck. Passing turn there. And let's see what green can do on the bounce back.
Yeah, you've still got X-Drake, you've still got Law. Your leader's also getting that plus 1,000, so a couple of attacks here.
Yeah, well, I don't think you're getting rid of the 9-drop. You can still get rid of the page 1 and still put some pressure on the leader.
Yeah. Looks like purple has 4 energy, so 4 Don, I should say. After that minus effect from the Kaido. Perhaps one other Don, maybe under the leader, or did they start that turn with 9?
Opting to pay 2 to switch the queen to rest mode.
Yeah, so there's the straw sword. Separates the 5, so we could see another Trafalgar Law come down.
Either that, or he's looking at his leader. Is he opting to pump the leader and potentially tap the 3 to restand?
Potentially, yeah. I do think that you'd go 1 under X-Drake, and then, yeah, there we go.
Absolutely. I think X-Drake swing's got to be the first one, because you want that buff.
Yeah.
Opting to put the 2 Don underneath.
Yeah. Perhaps swinging into some of these battle cards.
Or doing that, so that makes him 8,000.
Yeah.
You'll think he'll be going for the queen or page 1.
Well, both have 6,000 power. Queen is a blocker though, so I dare say you'd go for the queen first. And queen is out of here. Trying to decide how much he should pump up his leader. It's at 6k already. Might just leave it. No, we're going to go to 7. And are we swinging at page 1 or are we swinging at leader?
I think we'll have to go into page 1.
Yeah, I would think so too. I think that's the right move.
Probably could have opted to go with Law into page 1 first.
Both at 6, yeah.
Because Law would have been up to 7 from the buff from X-Drake.
Oh, yeah, piece of 6k, yeah, that's right.
An opponent only with a couple of cards in hand. So that's page 1's out of here.
Yeah.
Still leader ability in play, so it can tap 3 and discard 1. But with a low hand size, probably wouldn't opt to do it. Could be wrong though. Yeah, tapping 4.
Potentially the 5th. We see another X-Drake, a Trafalgar Law. It's just 4.
4. So you're probably looking at either the Law or Kobe. If you've got a second Law, you can restand.
Law will cost 5.
Oh, correct. So it'll be either X-Drake or Kobe.
Yeah. Just unsure if he wants to commit to this play. Yep. Alright, we got another X-Drake. And a blocker.
One for the blocker. Blocker's probably not a bad move.
Yeah, that's
But
good. force your opponent to deal with this blocker, or this 10,000 power Kaido isn't going through for life.
Obviously, knowing what he's got in hand, swing with the leader first, managing to keep the law in active mode so it's a little bit safer for next turn. And now got the potential to have X-Drake removed, but he's got one ready for next turn regardless.
Exactly, yeah, that's just it. And we've removed some of the bigger power battle cards from our opponent's field. The page 1's gone, the queen's gone, and now our opponent needs to re-establish those blockers if they want to defend. And due to the -5 from the 9-drop, we're playing with 6 energy this turn.
Very quick to go, no, I'm not going to try and keep that extra safe. Only the one card in hand. You'll think he'll be opting, if it does have the counter power, to save that for the leader.
Yeah. Do we see a block here, or is he willing to take this card?
I think you take this one because it's too high a attack. There's no point trying to do anything else.
Yeah, you do need to be cautious, I guess, for the next turn. You know, if we start seeing a -7 followed by, you know, something like a who's who would be pretty wild to be able to KO that blocker and then swing with the 10k Kaido. But we probably don't have the Don available after the minus effect, actually.
Coming to 33 minutes left in round, and the past turn there, coming back 10 active Don. 1 life versus 3.
Kaido must have had 5 Don following the Kaido play, gone up to 7.
And then the Queen.
Yeah.
So got a blocker to deal with here. Potentially can be rested, but let's see what he's got in hand. See if he's got the straw sword. That's the thing with this low hand size, not really going to have too many options each turn. You'll think you'll be playing your optimum pieces each turn, then it's top deck for days and see what you get.
Yeah, a real dangerous position for green right here. X-Drake first, as you do. Swing into the lead.
And let's see if there's a response with the block. I'd say with the 3 life, probably not an instant block.
Yeah, let them commit their cards. Let them establish their board. We've got the Black Maria to block also.
Yeah, purple in a very comfortable spot right here. Taking the damage.
Get those cards to hand.
And that's a resource as well. So often the way that Bandai card games work is you have, obviously you can draw from your deck, but your life is also another resource where it doesn't just go to the drop, it goes straight to hand for the most part.
Yeah, and especially when you have these trigger effects as well, which we've only seen a couple over today, but just how important they will be later on as we start getting more sets and more cards, more trigger effects. We'll start seeing some cards that can definitely turn the tide of battle.
I think there's only on average about 3 trigger cards per starter deck.
Just deciding what to do. Looks like it's a 6 energy play.
I think this is where that insight into what's in the hand would help a lot. You know, what's he deciding to do? Does he want to go in and try and buff the leader and remove a big threat? Does he want to commit to playing another card that will help him next turn? Does he have blockers in hand?
Absolutely, and that's the tough decision, isn't it? Like, you know that your opponent has 2 blockers available. Even if you pump up your leader and try and swing twice, you're still not pushing. You're not guaranteed to kind of push damage onto that leader. And you're staring down a 10,000 power Kaido at a minimum the following turn with 1 blocker.
So opting to buff the leader, he's got the 3 Don that he'll probably use to trigger the leader ability to restand. I'll say he's trying to clear the board presence here, but he does have the 2 blockers available. I think purple is in a very, very comfortable spot right here.
Yeah. Do you think this is going into the 10,000 Kaido?
I would say he has to be trying to remove it because there's no point to go into the leader at this point.
Yeah, not for this much power
You,
either.
you're not going to be dealing the 3 damage.
Yeah.
If you're going to do that, you would swing into the leader with law first,
Yeah. There's the 3.
discarding.
Yeah. Yeah. We're discarding counter cards as well. I think that purple's in a very comfortable position here.
And this is either going to be blocked. Because remember, he's going to be able to use his leader ability to burn the 7 Don and deal that last damage regardless. So he'll still have 2 swings after that. I think this is almost GG, even though there's 1 blocker on board.
Yeah, we see the counter out, super counter, and the page 1.
And that will still give him plenty of battle cards to swing with, keeping in mind that that queen is 6,000 base power.
Yeah. So, great decision there to counter out as opposed to block and lose the queen. And we should see purple close it out this game, this turn. There's the who's who. So,
Trying to maximize use of the Don.
yep, and there's the scoop.
And it's straight into the scoop, yeah.
Player on the left knows they can't come back from that situation. Let's just go to game 2 and save the time.
Definitely think it's the right call.
Yeah, I agree. But a good match nonetheless. Purple just really took control, even without the stage card. Was able to set up and keep the board in check. And just had more plays. So that's game 1 finished. Purple takes it and moving into game 2.
Who do you think is going to take out game 2? Do you think it's going to be a 50-50 matchup, or do you think Kaido has it here?
Following that game, I think maybe Purple has the Purple player has a bit of a good knowledge of what he needs to do against this green. Are they rolling dice?
Looks like he's rolling a dice.
Okay, so it looks like they're opting to randomize who goes first. But I definitely think that, yeah, Purple has a bit more of a good knowledge of the matchup against green.
And that was without establishing a stage. So no ramp required.
Yeah, but we see the strength of the -7 as well. Looks like Purple going first here. We don't know whether green decided to go second, or whether they opted to just randomize it with the dice.
Bit of deja vu with the game 1 of this round.
Yeah, same opening play. We see the Eroge, so no Bonnie turn 1. And let's see if Purple sees the stage this time.
And we've got 26 minutes left in round at this point. Establishing the stage early.
Yeah, that's what you want to see as a Purple player.
Put them in a very good spot.
Yeah. And going to 4 Don. Do we see an X-Drake?
Be the ideal. Straight with the leader swing. See the reaction first.
It looks like it may be... Okay.
Say.
Doubling up. And there's a Bonnie. And activate the Bonnie.
Yeah. And definitely fast plays from our green player over here.
Yeah, probably realising that he's a game down. And that time is of the essence.
It's one of those things you can make quick plays, but if you play too quickly, it can actually throw you off and you can make misplays. So you have to keep his nerve here and make sure he does make those aggressive plays, but also doesn't overextend and make the wrong choices.
Yeah, that's it. You don't want to be rushing into things and miss a sequencing or miss a card. But as we see these Dons slowly start pulling away from the green player. We're looking at 7 to 4 at the moment. Just opens up the plays for this Purple. I assume we swing into the Bonnie here.
Yeah, it looks
And there
like
it
Bonnie's
is.
been removed.
Yeah.
Thinking about it.
I do think Bonnie's the right play. Okay.
Ooh, pumping. Interesting.
Yeah, not feeling the use for that Don. Interesting though that he swung with it. The green player had already started sliding the Bonnie over to the drop area, and he still decided to commit the one Don.
I was going to say, does he have a Don to burn from a skill that he wants to use?
There's the ulti. We'll see the page 1 come out.
Definitely an interesting choice to still put the 1,000 underneath.
Yeah.
But starting to establish a board for the next turn. 4 life to 4.
And a similar play that the purple player did in the previous game as well. Green probably feeling a bit more of the pressure here. You don't really have any of the key cards that you want out. You're staring down a 5k, a 6k character, a leader, a stage card already established.
And he needs to get another character out, plus 1 Don under each of those Euro there, just to try and get them to 5,000 power. So I'd say he won't be doing too many swings this turn.
Yeah. Don't want to open them up to be removed just by attacking. You want to force your opponent to play cards with effects that have removal, not just give them free swings. The longer this game goes on, the more likely it is that purple can take it. But we see a 6k leader swing into leader. Do we see a super counter?
And takes that damage. It's having 1, 2, 3, 4.
We know what
Don.
it is. It's X-Drake.
That's the one you want. And you'll think you'll be passing here.
Yeah, that's a comfortable position to pass in. As good as you can, with what you've got. Set up a bit more of a play for the following turn. If these purple character cards do decide to swing, you've got some targets to remove. See the stage, see the ramp.
And that puts Kaido to 9.
You'd hate to see a king come down here and remove this X-Drake, but we're going to see a queen instead. The -1, we'll see a draw 2 and then a discard. Hopefully discarding the stage. There it is.
Key player still has 1 Don up, so probably got a scalpel in hand. Or at least let your opponent think you've got a scalpel in hand.
Yeah, exactly, and that sometimes is the play, just to have that Don available, just as a bit of a bait. We see the killer get countered.
I remember I used to do it in Dragon Ball all the time. If I played Frieza, I always leave 1 yellow up. So someone thought I had cold bloodlust, regardless as if I even had 1 in hand.
Exactly, yeah, and sometimes that's enough just to throw your opponent off, especially when they're down a game and things like that. They're a bit more cautious. Green opts to use the super counter there to get out of this 6k swing.
Another super counter coming through.
Yeah, protecting that life. And these battle cards in rest mode will now probably become the target.
I think that 6,000 swing is a real sweet spot where you want to, if you're swinging that, you're going to either force 2 cards out or the super counter, either affecting your opponent's hand size or, putting the pressure on whether they feel they need to take the damage and don't want to lose cards from hand.
Yeah, I like the 7k swing. It forces that super counter and an additional card, or 3 cards from hand, as opposed to the 2. It's just such a value if they don't have...
It's an awkward number to get over, isn't it?
Exactly, yeah. That 7 and the 9, with the event cards as well, because they either give you 2 or 4,000 power. It's just a bit of an awkward number.
And knowing there was only one Don active, I think you need 2 Don to get the 4,000 from that event card.
Yeah.
They were checking hand size before. Kaido player with 6 cards in hand. Looks like 4 cards for the kid player. Calculating now, how many Don do you want to tap?
There's 2. Seeing a straw sword. Yep. Rest that queen. And let's clear this board, basically.
Sounds like a player. X-Ray coming in first.
7.
1k from the Don plus its own leader skill ability to give an extra K.
Yeah. Do you go for the queen?
I think, yeah. You're going for any of those 6Ks.
Yeah.
Queen, you definitely want to make sure that block is removed. You also got a couple more swings coming in with the Euro, so they've already got the plus 1,000. You want to put 1 Don under each of those. They'll leave him with 3 left available. And you can clear probably the rest of this board here almost. Keeping in mind there is still 1 extra blocker on the field.
Yeah.
So I'd say you probably swing both into the queen if you're going to put the pressure on.
Yeah, I would agree.
First one there. I like this committing one at a time, not showing your opponent exactly what you're going to do.
Yeah, absolutely. It just give them as little information as possible, and make them, question what you have in hand and what your next play is. And queen is gone. We could swing 6,000 into the page 1.
I was going to say, I think here you buff the kid and then go in with the kid and try and keep your cards in active mode as much as physically possible. See if you can bait out that blocker.
Yeah, we're seeing a super counter here.
And now you can choose buff your other character card and then swing in at page 1 again, I would say. Let's see what happens.
You could even activate the leader effect.
Also true.
Yeah, but opting to pass. So page 1 lives to see another turn. We've still got the blocker available. And if purple has some cards that can do some board clear through effect, then it really opens up some of these attacks into the lead. Nine-drop Kaido coming down, so that X-Drake will be removed.
And then tapping the stage to get 1 back.
Yep, so 4 go back, and yep, there's the 5 in rest mode, leaving the 1 available. Yep, just showing his opponent. The 4 are back. He has rested the stage. He will be able to KO one of these cards.
But you would say the X-Drake is the one that has to go here.
Definitely.
That's my Captain Obvious call for the day. No.
Well, I guess not. I guess
Wow.
he feels that he's just going to swing into him so he can remove all 3.
I did say before, I have been wrong before.
Yeah. These players are too high level for us. This way he gets to clear the entire board. Not too concerned about going for life at this stage. Looks like he just wants to keep that board clear and go in on our opponent on 1 big turn.
So we've got Kid still at 4 life, Kaido at 3.
Yeah, I dare say this is into the Eroge. Perhaps not. Oh no, that was the...
It's a repel.
That was a repel, so...
Giving you
possibly,
4,000
yeah.
and untapping 1 Don.
Yeah, possibly
Now tapping
it was.
2 for a second repel.
Yeah, I'd say that these attacks are going into the Eroge. Yep.
Opting to
Discarding
do
his
the extra...
whole hand. Yeah, so page 1 was 7,000. Euroge got to 7,000 with the repel, but needed an extra 1k. So Trafalgar Law was dropped. 1 card in hand for green.
That's a 10 Don. Really difficult position where you've lost all your resources.
Yeah.
So
Euroge is still just a 3k, not getting that boost off its effect since there aren't 3 characters on the field.
you're going to have to opt to play what you got in hand and then leave your characters in active mode and hope that you pull something good from life. Let's see what he's got in hand.
And it's starting to pull away again. Purple, the longer this game goes on, it's just getting a little bit more advantage out of his big cards.
Do you bait your opponent here into thinking you got to buff your leader to do the restand?
The problem is he's just got that blocker available as well. And 5 cards in hand as opposed to your 1.
Yeah, I think you either try to remove the 9-drop or the page 1. It's probably the best options at the moment.
Looks like he's willing to dump everything onto the leader. Yeah, that's probably what we're going to see here.
There's a 12,000 kid.
Yeah.
Swinging in.
We assume into Kaido.
Imagine the block comes in here.
Even a super counter and a counter here. There's not much that Green's able to play for 3 energy, so we see the block.
There's the block, yeah.
Do you want to commit? Yeah.
Cast straight to discard.
Yeah.
The X-ray.
To restand, swing the 12. We've got enough cards. Do you potentially just go for the page 1 here and guarantee the removal as opposed to... Yeah.
Looks like that's what he's done.
Yeah, I think that's the right move.
Smart play. He's still got a comfortable life sitting at 4, but he definitely needs to see what comes out of his life and use it as a resource now.
Yeah, exactly. That's the problem. You know, we see another 9-drop Kaido come down here. That would just be devastating. If we see a king come down again, you know, you're limited now to 4 cards from your life and whatever you top deck.
It's what you look at before. So before he used two repels, and he also had to lose the law from hand to protect that small 2 cost. Was it worth doing? Are the repels better kept for later game?
Yeah, and is the X-Drake better kept later for the game? Because all you've saved is a 3,000 power character card that, to even do any chance of damage, you need to commit 2 Don.
And you also need 3 characters out.
Yeah, just to get that extra
2,000.
Yeah, it's a difficult choice. I think you probably leave them here at 2 life, and then you've got the ability to do a -7 when you need it. Minusing 1 Don with Sasaki here to draw a card. We've got a blocker available, and Green has 3 cards in hand.
It's going to be hard to bounce back from this position.
Yeah, you're down on life, you're down on battle cards. It's very difficult.
Though, did just draw into, now has 3 cards in hand, has 10 Don. Green can put on a lot of pressure with cards very quickly, so depending on what he's drawn, he could turn around. So a 5, 6, 7.
Yeah, looks like we're going to place... Okay, we're
We've
just
got
going
the
to
big
continue
block.
swinging.
Okay.
Yeah, continue swinging for 12 and do our best to remove this Kaido. And what's Purple do here?
He shuffles his Don.
How's your OCD going with some of those upside down Don?
We don't talk about it.
Yeah, we're going to save it. Super counter and a jack. We'll get up to 13. Let's see if green opts to swing again. I dare say we'll see a block.
I feel like he's left the 3 to do that, but because the block hasn't happened, it's not worth doing. You're better off keeping those Don up, use them defensively, or play something out and get another character ready.
Yeah. Potentially committing to this 3 energy here.
Really thinking about it.
Yeah, I think he just knows that he's so far behind. At this point, it's just... Yeah.
He's committed to the leader play. At least you can guarantee you can get rid of the queen.
Yeah. You drop the law. Swing again. Another 12k. Could even potentially see another counter out here. Oh, okay.
Oh, they went straight to life.
Yeah.
There you go.
Giving them the card in hand. Perhaps they assumed that the block would come out. Some more Don. Some upside down, some the correct way, some sideways. All different directions.
My left eye is twitching.
7 energy, 7 Don under the Sasaki.
That's a big buff.
Yep.
But we know what's happening after that.
Yeah, exactly. And there's the scoop.
Yeah.
We just know that life gets taken, we do a -7, and then swing with that Kaido for 10,000 or even 12,000.
Got Kaido, Queen, and the leader.
Yeah, that's more than enough. And that's GG. Purple takes it 2-0.
Well, it's definitely an interesting matchup, though. I wasn't expecting it to be as one-sided as it felt like in the end. I thought Green would have had a lot more offensive pressure, but Purple really comfortable there. Obviously, the ramp got the big blockers, big hitters, and been doing really well in this event. So we've already had the Purple mirror match was last round. Obviously now Green and Purple, so Purple going pretty far in this event where we were talking at the start, we thought it would have been green-blue for the most part. But obviously, meta's shifted a little bit as people were starting to learn what these cards do.
Yeah, and that Purple player definitely knew his plays. He knew what to do. Green did as well. He just seemed like he didn't see the cards that he needed, which is unfortunate, but it does happen. Credit to both of these players for going undefeated all the way up until this point. Purple will continue to go on undefeated, having his chance at that serial number Luffy. But we will take a brief intermission at this point. As always, if you have enjoyed the stream so far, we appreciate it if you follow our Twitch and subscribe to the channel. We're trying to push to get to 500 today, so if you can help us out with that, we really do appreciate it. But until then, we'll see you at the next round. Hopefully it's not too long.